distance. Ain't no telling what I just may do. I been vibing, minding my business. Throw one up if you can relate to. Said if I ain't got it, I make do. Can't be stuck waiting on a breakthrough. And I don't need everybody praying for me. Ain't no telling who you niggas pray to.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of D's Corner. YouTube, how's it going? How's it going? We got a mock draft coming up. Didn't get to drop the video for the mock draft Monday. Was only able to post it, so I got the video cooked up right here. And I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. It's been a crazy free agency so far, guys. Major signing, some crazy trade. Some teams going all in, and some teams kind of staying stagnant. This draft is going to be somewhat free agency based. Next Monday, I'm thinking I'm gonna try to drop two rounds. Throw some trades in there. I was working on some crazy trades, but then the Myles Garrett signing happened. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the mock draft. First up, we have the Tennessee Titans. They are selecting quarterback out of Miami, Cam Ward. They built up this offensive line. They brought in a left tackle from the Steelers who's going to play right, who's going to move J.C. Latham to right tackle, his natural position where he dominated in the SEC. This is where he's going to be able to be the most effective for whoever the quarterback is. That quarterback should be Cam Ward. Pick number 2, we got Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Colorado, going to the Browns. Shedeur, there was a lot of nonsense talk, in my opinion, about Shedeur at the combine, him being brash and him being this or him being that. If you look at him, this guy is, when he was asked about what NFL wide receivers he was ready to throw to or wanting to throw to, he named all his Colorado receivers that'll be in the draft. This guy looked out for his offensive linemen consistently. He's a leader. He's accurate with the ball, and he will fit perfectly in Stefanski's system. And they just signed Myles Garrett to a huge deal. I think he's getting $40 a year. Defense should still be intact. Offense, you're going to need your signal caller. Deshaun Watson has torn his Achilles again and has pretty much played his last down in Cleveland. Next up, pick number 3. I saw this, and I can't remember where I saw it, but the more that I started fooling with the drafts, I don't think a quarterback will be there. The Giants are on their last leg with the coach and the GM. They have to do something this year, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a veteran quarterback. Possibly Russell Wilson, maybe Aaron Rodgers. Whoever the Steelers get, the Giants will probably end up having the other as a consolation prize. You already have Malik Neighbors. Here, I'm taking Abdul Carter. We see with the Myles Garrett contract, as well as the Max Crosby contract, that the edge market is about to blow up. They already have Brian Burns on a big deal, and they have Kayvon Thibodeau. He will be coming due for a deal. Drafting Abdul Carter allows you to reset that market on your edge for another 4 to 5 years, gives you an opportunity to have a nice NASCAR package of edge rushers, still have Dexter Lawrence. You saw what the Eagles were able to do getting after the team's quarterback. Not going to reach for a quarterback here. We're going to go ahead and take the best player available. That's Abdul Carter. Worst case scenario, we're trading Kayvon Thibodeau either in this draft, by the trade deadline, or by the end of the season. Next up, pick number 4, the New England Patriots. I have them selecting cornerback, wide receiver, cornerback, however you want to say it. Travis Hunter out of Colorado. Mike Vrabel played defense and has some packages on offense. Coach Prime, same thing. I think that's going to be the most likely scenario for Travis Hunter. We saw what he was able to do. A lot of people forget that Colorado has that height and elevation, so he wasn't just doing that in normal elevation. Playing 120-something snaps a game. That's something that he won't be asked to do, but playing maybe all 60 defensive snaps or all 60 offensive snaps in a package here and a package there, I think that would be the best route. Most likely his true position will be at corner, but he'll be allowed to work into wide receiver, and I think that Vrabel and the Patriots will welcome that because they weren't able to really get anyone so far in free agency to help as far as a pass catcher for Drake May. Definitely going to have some weapons there, and Travis Hunter gives you a really good weapon. Jacksonville Jaguars, we got Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU, going number 5 overall. They're beefing up the interior. Coach Cohen's going to want to protect Trevor Lawrence. You're going to want to get this guy able to be or try to squeeze as much of that potential out of him that people thought when he came out of Clemson. He's going to have to be surrounded by a lot of players. He is not the force multiplier, but he is a decent quarterback. To do that, he has to be able to be upright first and foremost. Will Campbell is going to keep him there. 6th overall, the first running back off the board, top 10 selection. Ashton Jeanty is going to the Las Vegas Raiders. They already picked up Geno Smith. We know that Pete Carroll is a stickler for running the ball. We know he has no issues taking first-round running backs. I possibly could be looking to trade back. We'll see how the next draft goes. But Ashton Jeanty, along with Geno Smith, they have a solid offensive line. Brock Bowers, you will need to get some weapons. Could possibly get Tyler Lockett, who is still a free agent. I think this is a really good pickup for the Vegas Raiders. Excuse me. New York at number 7, the Jets take Armin Membaugh, offensive tackle from Missouri. He's going to play on the right side. You got Olu from Fashanu from last year, man in the left side. Elijah Vera Tucker at guard. You got Joe Tippmann at your center. You have a solid offensive line. You put pieces into your defense already. We know that Coach Aaron Glenn is going to be able to do some masterful things with this defense. We saw what he was able to do with the Detroit Lions, who did not have a lot. They had like 13 defensive players on injured reserve or something. And Aaron Glenn was able to get the best out of people that he was signing off their couch. Armin Membaugh will definitely allow you to utilize your new quarterback, Justin Fields, to the best of his ability. With the run game, being able to get him protected, quick ball to Garrett Wilson. You do have a nice, solid running back with Allen and Breece Hall. That's a nice tandem. Going to have to get some more weapons, but I do like Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields being back together. One thing about Aaron Glenn that I truly think people are going to sleep on, where he came from in Detroit with Dan Campbell, when they went out and got Jared Goff, the one thing that he's adamant about his players doing is being themselves. I think Aaron Glenn is going to make Justin Fields comfortable and being himself. He might not light it up. He's not going to be the next Lamar Jackson. He's not going to be an MVP candidate, but I think he will be able to do pretty damn well with the New York Jets just by having someone who wants him, someone who believes in him, and someone who's allowing him to grow at the position. At pick number 8, I got the Carolina Panthers selecting Shamar Stewart, the defensive edge from Texas A&M. He's really going to be able to play up and down that defensive line. They signed Bobby Brown. You already had Derrick Brown. You got Jadeveon Clowney and now Shamar Stewart. That's a solid, stout defensive front. Like I said, Shamar is able to play up and down the line. They will still have opportunities in the other rounds to continue to add to this defense. Brought in Trayvon Moe, re-signed J.C. Horn. Starting to get some really, really, really good cogs on that defense, some building blocks to truly build around. Will Johnson goes number 9 to the Saints. They lost Paulson Debo to the Giants. They traded away Marshawn Lattimore. I don't even know how they're signing people, to be honest with you. I hadn't seen anything about restructures. They were like negative $47 million in the cap or something. They started off in the red. Pretty sure they're just going to – that's where the Saints are going to live. They're going to need to get some cover guys. Will Johnson is probably one of the best, if not the best, corner in this draft. Now, the Chicago Bears, this draft here, if you watch my other mock draft, I might pin the video in the description. I had Tyler Warren going to the Jets. I'm trying to do something where I pick different players each go around. With what the Bears were able to do in free agency so far, they truly built up and beefed up that offensive line. They got the center from the Falcons, Jonah Jackson from the Rams to play guard. They traded for Joe Thuney as well to play guard. You already had Darnell Wright at your right tackle. You can go left tackle here, but you're going to get your star young quarterback a security blanket. Tyler Warren. I could also see this being a pick for Ashton Jeanty falling to 10, and I think that would be the route that they go. But in this draft, Tyler Warren, be all tight end. Going to help you in the running game. It's going to be able to block. Going to be able to give Caleb that security blanket. Can be a wildcat quarterback. Can split out wide. Can run the ball. There is so much things that you can do with Tyler Warren. And I think Ben Johnson is just going to love that with his creative play calling. Tyler Booker goes 11 to the San Francisco 49ers, who have had a mass exodus, and I mean a mass exodus. Offensive line, I think Trent Williams is the only one that's still there. Defensive backfield, you lost Hufanga, you lost Javarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw. They released Hargrave. They lost out on Joey Bosa, who signed with the Bills. The San Francisco 49ers are going to look completely different next year. They're going to have to rely on their running backs. Tyler Booker is going to be able to be a road grader for them. They are going to have to get younger and better on that offensive line, especially. Pick number 12, I have the Dallas Cowboys selected Matthew Golden, the wide receiver out of Texas, 4.29 40, fastest wide receiver at the combine. Jerry has said that he wants to get a number 2 wide receiver. I think Golden would step in and fit in perfectly next to CeeDee Lamb. They did pick up Javonte Williams, the running back from the Denver Broncos, which is rare to see the Cowboys do anything in free agency. I think he got a 1-year, $3 million deal. But Matthew Golden would be a beautiful, beautiful piece next to CeeDee Lamb, giving Dak Prescott an opportunity to earn all that money that he's been given. Pick 13, the Miami Dolphins select Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas. They already have Armstead. Not sure what's going on with him. He could possibly retire. He is older. We know what the situation is with Tua. He has been almost impossible to stay healthy. You're going to have to try to do whatever you can to bolster your offensive line in front of him and keep him upright. He is the engine that makes your machine go. They did sign Zach Wilson as an insurance policy, but Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas to the Miami Dolphins, I think that would be a nice pick. Number 14, the Colts take Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan. He is a true tight end. Can block, can run the route tree. Wasn't used as much as a true tight end, especially this past season with the Wolverines. I think he will be able to perform whatever his draft positioning is due to the lack of production in his final season. But I think the Colts, who need a tight end, went out and signed Daniel Jones. I do not know why, but you are going to have to give whoever is under center a security blanket, somebody who can just be a quick dump off. You have a nice group of skilled players: A.D. Mitchell, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr. You still have Jonathan Taylor. You have a solid offensive line, or had a solid offensive line. You did lose Ryan Kelly as well as Will Fries, to both sign with the Minnesota Vikings. Not sure if we're going to go offensive line, but I think you do need to get you need to get a true tight end. The Atlanta Falcons at 15, I have them selecting Mason Graham, D tackle out of Michigan. They released Grady Jarrett, who instantly signed with the Bears. Mason Graham, who was a smaller, if you will, D tackle. Raheem Morris coached up Aaron Donald, not comparing the two, but he has traits of Aaron Donald. He's able to get off the block. He is extremely stout as a run defender. He can move and get off that line of scrimmage, but he has a nice center of gravity. Mason Graham will fit nicely with the Dirty Birds. Pick 16, I got the Arizona Cardinals selecting Jihad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. He is going to be a first-round pick, in my opinion. He can line up all over your defense. He can rush off the edge. He can rush off up the middle. He's a damn good middle linebacker. He's a damn good edge player. This is one of the players that Coach Gannon is going to want to build around and have on that defense. They just signed Josh Sweat, bringing in Jihad next to Zaven Collins. You still have Budda Baker, Darius Robinson from last year. You're building your defense, and this is what this coach is known for. Mykel Williams goes 17 to the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to trade Trey Hendrickson. They're going to need to replace him and his production. Mykel Williams, 6'5", 260-pound edge defender out of the University of Georgia. We know what he is. We know what he's capable of. He will have to do some refining of his secondary moves and counter moves, but he's a good fit for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Seattle Seahawks had a crazy free agency period thus far as well. Released Tyler Lockett, traded Geno Smith, traded DK Metcalf. You need help on your offensive line. This team was 10-7 last year. I don't see them being 10-7 this year. I don't see them being a playoff team this year. You went from 10-7, and now it's like you're going to rebuild under your young head coach. Last year should have been that if they were going to do that. But got him going. Gray Zabel, the offensive lineman out of North Dakota State, can play anywhere on that offensive line, from left tackle to right tackle, both guards or center position. They need interior especially. I think Gray Zabel will get the first crack at one of those interior spots. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19 go Jahdae Barron, the DB from Texas. He can play outside corner. We saw with his 4.40 40 at the combine. He does have the speed. He is suited and better. He's better suited for a slot role. Can possibly play some safety too. We know that Antoine Winfield Jr. had some injuries last year. This will give Todd Bowles a nice chess piece move player in that secondary. He can match up with your wide receiver. He can match up with your tight end. He'll be a pretty damn good DB, in my opinion. Just seeing what he has, he is very instinctful, and he goes after the football. The Denver Broncos have been stating that they want to go with a veteran wide receiver. This is not a big wide receiver free agent market. So they go with the 20th pick overall. They take Territorio McMillan out of Arizona, the wide receiver. Big-bodied wide receiver. You're going to get Bo Nix, as many weapons around him as you can. Playing with Cortland Sutton, you have two huge-bodied wide receivers. This will definitely help Bo Nix so that he does not continue to be Bo Picks. He had a really good rookie year. He started off, shaky like most rookies do. We'll see if he has a sophomore slump. The easiest way to avoid that is to continue to have weapons around him. This is one of the picks that I just couldn't change. Josh Simmons to the Steelers at 21. Just makes too much sense. The Steelers need offensive line. They did trade for DK Metcalf. You still have your defense. Not sure who your quarterback's going to be. It's either going to be Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson is what the free agency talks are. It's actually reported when I started recording this that Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers could get a deal done at any time now. You are going to need to protect him, and Josh Simmons is a solid offensive lineman, especially at left tackle. He does get pushed back, but he anchors well. Very quick feet, very good hands. He did get injured last year, which caused Donovan Jackson to kick outside, but Josh Simmons to the Steelers will be a very nice pickup. James Pierce Jr., the edge from Tennessee, goes 22nd to the LA Chargers, who re-signed to a one-year, fully guaranteed $18 million deal, Khalil Mack, but they did release Joey Bosa, so you are going to have to get younger at the position. Pierce is a really good edge rusher, will fit perfectly in the system. Is able to come off that edge, can put his hand in the dirt, can stand up, very fluid, 4.47 at the combine, fluid in his movement drills, and has a arsenal of counter moves. I think James Pierce Jr. will be a nice fit for the Chargers. Pick 23, I got the cornerback needy Green Bay Packers taking Trey Amos, corner out of Ole Miss. Ran a 4.4 at the combine. Deep speed was a concern. Could definitely be in this later part of the first round, could be in the early part of the second round. There's talks of the Packers possibly trading away Jair Alexander. You already lost Eric Stokes. You're going to need to go ahead and get more depth in that secondary. Trey Amos is the perfect fit for the Green Bay Packers. The Minnesota Vikings lost Cam Bynum. Harrison Smith is a free agent. He's 34, 35, I believe. Might be 36. He not sure if he's going to come back or if he wants to try to play for more of a contender. They are going to the rookie. Well, I guess he's still a rookie, J.J. McCarthy, with Sam Darnold signing to the San Francisco 49ers. But the pick, Nick Eamon-Ward, the safety out of South Carolina. 6'3", 220, 4.3 40, 43-inch vertical. can play slot, can play deep safety, can play down in the box, can cover, can tackle, can hit, can do everything that you need him to do. He is a bigger, faster Kyle Hamilton, and I think Brian Flores will be ecstatic to get this guy in his defense. Pick 25, Josh Connolly Jr., the tackle out of Oregon, goes to the Houston Texans, who just traded away their star left tackle, Laremy Tunsil, to the Washington Commanders. They released both of their – they traded Kenyon Green to the Eagles. They did get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but they also released Shaq Mason. This offensive line was porous last year, and you traded away your best offensive lineman. The only thing that I could think is you have some second contracts that are getting ready to come up that are going to have to get paid. Josh Allen just put up $300 million contract. That's going to be the quarterback going rate. CJ is going to be up for one soon. Derek Stingley Jr. is going to reset the market at the cornerback position. Then you have Will Anderson, who's also going to be coming up, and we see the edge contracts and where they're going. Houston is going ahead and getting prepared for their future. This is another pick that I was unable to change. I don't think he'll fall to the second round, but I just love Jalen Walker to the Los Angeles Rams. When you're pairing him with Jared Verse, Brian Young, he can rush up the middle, he can rush from the edge, he can drop in coverage, and he can play that inside backer role, which is his body is better suited for. But I just think he will be able to be a nasty disruptor on that Rams defense, who the offense you re-signed your left tackle Jackson, you re-signed Matthew Stafford, you brought in Devontae Adams, you're going to usher out Cooper Kupp, who Devontae will easily be able to replace and be your number two opposite of Puka Nacua. And you also have re-signed Tutu Atwell. You still have your running backs. They are going to be an okay team. This team, not more than okay, this team is a true contender, especially if they have a hell of a draft. This team should be one of the top 3 teams, maybe 2, might be the second best team in the NFC. The Baltimore Ravens, I have them going corner Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky, fastest player at this year's combine, can mirror in coverage, is a really good man-to-man corner. You lost Brandon Stevens. You have Marlon Humphrey, who's getting up there in age and does have some injuries. You're going to need to replenish your secondary. Maxwell Harrison with Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey being able to play in the slot or be used as trade bait because of the contract. This would be a really good move for the Baltimore Ravens. Detroit Lions, I have them selecting Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle out of Oregon. Big body. The Detroit Lions are going to try to get after you. To be able to do that, they have to free up Aiden Hutchinson. Derek Harmon is going to be a nice space eater. He's going to rush up that middle and truly help Aiden Hutchinson get back to himself coming off of injury. Malachi Starks, the safety out of Georgia, goes to the Washington Commanders. I just feel like this would be the perfect fit for him as well as Dan Quinn. Malik Hooker took off as a deep safety for Dan Quinn's defense after not being played as much with the Colts. Malachi Starks will come in and be a perfect fit. They already lost Jeremy Chin as well. They re-signed Bobby Wagner. They lost Jonathan Allen to the Vikings. They're putting resources into the defense. They traded for Laremy Tunsil. They're solidifying their offense. They have Debo. They're going to go defense in the draft. Malachi Starks will be a perfect fit for the Washington Commanders. Mike Green goes 30th to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills who released Von Miller, they're going to need edge help. They did re-sign Gregory Rousseau. Mike Green would be a nice fit, nice complementary piece. You'd still have Ed Oliver. Your defensive line is what Buffalo has been known to have under McDermott. They're going to keep that up with the selection of Mike Green. 31 overall, we got Donovan Jackson, the offensive guard out of Ohio State, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said, he was able to play left tackle when Josh Simmons got hurt, but it was an all-American guard. This guy's going to come in and replace Joe Thuney. And if you have issues at your left tackle, he can bump out at left tackle as well. Not ideal, but he did hold up there. And last, we have Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of defensive tackle out of Michigan. They lost Milton Williams. You're going to bring in Kenneth Grant to consistently to sustain that defensive rotation that you've had. Big body. I think he's 6'3", 330 something. You still have Jordan Davis. You know what Jalen Carter is. This is going to be a good pickup, especially late in the draft, late in the first round. I can see the Eagles trading out. Like I said, the next draft I'm going to work on having some trades. We'll see how that goes. But guys, I really, truly appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, like it, share it, subscribe, comment, all that good jazz. Help me grow, guys. I truly appreciate it. Y'all have a
Spazzing on the beat, they think I'm crazy. Got it under control, babe. You don't want smoke, all you see is the same.
LB tapping, keys in making waves. Ayy.
Step back, keep your distance. Ain't no telling what I just may do. I've been vibing, minding my business. Throw one up if you can relate to. Said if I ain't got it, I make do. Can't be stuck waiting on a breakthrough. And I don't need everybody praying for him. Ain't no telling who you niggas pray to.